Welcome, bienvenido. Today is Friday, and I decided when the month began that I was going to set up Monday for something, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then because I'm packing to move, I kind of put away the list and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do today. So, because what I want to do is keep consistent, I am going to do a review of the week as far as from the perspective from a 50-year-old. So let's see what has happened this week. On Monday, we woke up to the sad news of the events that happened in Las Vegas. Now, I am not going to say the name of the person that actually did the shooting because I don't think that is relevant and I don't want to give that person more publicity. I am aware that there were many victims to this situation and that for some reason people that consider themselves Christians and that want to preserve life so they don't want abortions have no problem leaving the gun laws astray. And in fact, if anything, they're trying to soften gun regulation. That makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. So, you know where I stand on that. I personally don't have guns. I don't care if you have a gun or not. It's not my intention to say that you can't have a gun. I don't see why you need 48 guns. I really don't. I can understand some people that are like gun collectors that have like the old school guns and they are set up not to shoot and they have them display and whatnot. Mostly because if they try to shoot them, they'll probably break the gun. But just regular guns, no. Semi-automatic weapons, really no. If you're really that bad of a shoot, you really shouldn't have a gun to begin with. And like I've said in several blog posts, and I think I've actually said it in a couple of videos, when you have a right, that includes the responsibility that earn you that right. I don't think we have earned the right to have guns as Americans. Number one, that's not what the Second Amendment says. The Second Amendment talks about having an organized militia. Nowhere does it say every single person should have a gun. Let's start there. That's a misinterpretation of the document. Number two, if you cannot have guns responsibly, and by that I mean there was the story of the little toddler that shot the other two toddlers in a daycare center because somebody left the gun unattended. There's the another story of a woman in Florida, and I think this was last year, that her kid was in the back seat, grabbed the gun and shot her. She didn't die. That's not the point. The point is, how responsible are you? And by the way, she was a gun owner that was also uh, a mouthpiece for the NRA. So really? Seriously? No. So, if you do not have a way or a means to have guns responsibly, you shouldn't have guns. Period. That's the bottom line. On Tuesday, we had the visit of President Trump to Puerto Rico, which was a disaster. And I mean, I honestly think it was very disrespectful. And people say, well, he was just throwing paper towels at people. No. You see, when he went to Florida, he handed things to people. And when he went to Texas, he handed things to people. No. I'm sorry, no. Number two, he went ahead and said, when a real disaster like Katrina, in reference to our disaster, you don't compare disasters because none of them, one life is one too many lives lost. The count on how many lives have we lost because of the hurricane has not been finished, mainly because there's a lot of people that have not been able to get to the morgues and everything else, and we don't know. There are estimates that go anywhere from 200 to 700. So, and that's still 700 too many or 200 too many. In the case of Katrina, it was 1,833 too many. Okay? So, no. You don't judge a disaster by lives lost. You don't judge a disaster by how quick the streets in San Juan get built. It's a metro area. Of course, they're going to get cleaned up first. Duh. That doesn't mean the town is, the country is well. When he was making fun of the fact that people didn't need flashlights, 95% of the island didn't have electricity. It was just a comedy of errors. And I realized that some of the stuff I'm saying, he meant them as a joke. Not the time. I'm sorry, but not the time. On Wednesday, I decided not to even watch the news just in case he made a mistake, but apparently he actually was very solemn and good to the people of Vegas when he went and visited Vegas. And nothing major happened. And then on Thursday, which was yesterday, we were still receiving record messages about how bad things are in Puerto Rico. There was a storm that was developing. Now, I've never seen one develop from down South America to and going up. I understand that there are many. I just had never seen anything like it. It went by Nicaragua and Costa Rica, and I think it already killed 22 people. And I've had friends that have said, that's a storm. Imagine if they would have gotten a hurricane. And what I try to explain to them is when you're not used to a hurricane, it's go or even a big storm, because people say, well, it's a storm, how fast can it go? Well, when you have wind gusts of 35 to 50 miles per hour and you have a lot of rain in places that are not used to that, yes, you're going to have a lot of disasters. It's just the way it works. If we had a hurricane land in a place that has never had a hurricane here, let's say something like North Dakota, which is in the middle of nowhere, do you really think those people are prepared for a hurricane? Because I don't think they are. Because it's not on they're they have other things like snow and things that they're prepared for, but they're not prepared for a hurricane. So that's what happened to the people in Nicaragua and Costa Rica. And God only knows what damage they had. We really don't know. I haven't seen it yet. And today's Friday, and I'm getting ready for the Alzheimer's walk, which is here in Orlando tomorrow. I'm very excited about the walk. I'm hoping it doesn't rain because it's been raining a little bit lately. And I was saying as a joke, God, please stop raining in this area because really we don't need any more water. And we've had rain on Wednesday, Thursday, and it looks like it's going to rain again today. So it's been an interesting week weather-wise. Now, as far as what we have planned for the weekend and for the weeks ahead, like I said, I did not want to get too technical with the Halloween type situations, because even though we were going to start it this week, because of the Las Vegas thing, I didn't think it was appropriate to do a lot of Halloween stuff. But I can tell you right now, I don't care what happens unless the world comes to an end, and then it won't matter because I won't be here recording. Next week we're going to start doing different things so that you get in the spirit of Halloween. Now, you don't have to like Halloween. You can look at it as an experiment on art experiment. I guess that's a good way of saying it. It'll be fun. Just stay tuned for that. The other thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to do my first U now today. I think I'm going to do them on Friday as I fix my nails. I haven't decided what I'm going to talk about in there. It might be fun. It might be a disaster. I don't know. I really don't know. So stay tuned for that. And the other thing I'm going to say is this week I posted in a message on a private group. Mind you, because I'm Puerto Rican, half the people thought I was talking directly from Puerto Rico. And either way, I would always clear up, no, 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 I'm over here. My friends are in Puerto Rico and my family's in Puerto Rico. But I'm here. And what I'm seeing is what they're telling me. I'm not going through the news. I'm not, even though I'm going to make an accession. David Bernard was amazing, so I did watch him. And there is a Hispanic gentleman whose last name is Berignoni, who's doing it in Spanish, and he's doing an excellent job as well of telling the truth, not just saying what the news media wants to hear. And those two people were excellent. And they gave me a very good glimpse of what's happening. But me, personally, I'm getting most of my information from the actual sources. So if my friends are telling me that they don't have any water and any electricity, it's because they don't have any water or electricity. If they send me a picture of a road that's broken down and you can't go from one end to the other, that's because that's the road they have to take. We need to stop believing politicians and the media only and look for more resources of information. We also need to stop believing what people tell us And if we don't know our own history, go back to the history books, or listen to other people that know more about circumstances. I had a lady that said to me, I think it was last night, the first thing she said was that Puerto Rico voted 5 times not to be a state because they didn't want to pay taxes. I have news for that lady. Puerto Rico has the same thing that most states do, which, by the way, Florida doesn't. In Florida, you pay federal taxes, but you don't pay state taxes. Okay? We do have sale tax, and supposedly that's supposed to cover everything. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way it works. I can tell you that in Puerto Rico, you pay taxes to Puerto Rico. In fact, they're the same day that the federal taxes are due on April 15th, unless there's a weekend or whatever. And they are some of the high, and I've lived in 4 states in the United States. They are the highest state taxes I've ever had to pay for anything. Okay. Number two, when we get merchandise, because we can only have it shipped through American containers, the taxes that are involved in those goods are included in our sale price. So no, you don't see it as a sale tax, but we do pay it. So that's tax two. And third, we do have a sales tax. It's called EBU. So we have 3 taxes. That's not counting that our paychecks have Social Security and Medicare collected. So we are paying our taxes. Another thing that I would like to say to that young lady is that there's 5 million Puerto Ricans not living in Puerto Rico, and I would have to say most of the adults pay taxes. So Puerto Ricans are paying taxes. And I'm going to go further. A few years ago, the law changed, probably to make it more suitable for those who want to be a state. And American companies, employees of American companies, have to file taxes every year, which means they are getting money taken out of their paycheck. So if you don't know the history and if you don't know what's going on, you need to shut up and listen to other people. I also watched a video about, I think, I don't really know the name of the people, but they have a Facebook page. Something, I know they're bodybuilders. I know that much. It's a husband, a wife, and their kid. And they decided to make a video, which was, first of all, the timing was horrible because we are in the middle of a crisis and you're talking about how we shouldn't get help because we're not a state? Really? Okay. So they proceeded to get their behinds handed to them by many people. People that told them about the history of Puerto Rico, about how United States invaded Puerto Rico in 1898 in a war between them and Spain, and ended up keeping Puerto Rico. How they made us American citizens since 1917. How we ratified that in 1952. How we've had people serving this country in the armed forces for decades, since 1917, which actually it's a century. What else? What else? It was explained to them how if you actually look at the situation, yes, on the last referendum, there was a boycott, and that's why not that many people showed up to vote. But it was not because people didn't necessarily want to be a state. That's yet to be determined. The reason why people boycotted, the main reason why people boycotted, was because Congress had already said that they were not going to do anything no matter what the results were. So why bother going voting if you're not going to listen to them? Makes perfect sense to me. A lot of people have asked me, why don't I push for statehood? And the answer is very simple. I don't live in Puerto Rico. I have always believed that I have no right to tell Puerto Ricans how to live because I have no intention of going back. That doesn't mean I'm going to stay in the States either. I might go to Canada. I might go to Italy. I might go to Spain. I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years from now. But I can tell you I'm an American citizen. I have no intention of getting rid of my American citizenship, but I don't live in Puerto Rico permanently. Therefore, I have no right to tell Puerto Ricans what to do. I can I can talk to people and tell them what I think is good or what I think is bad on all choices, but I have no right to tell them what to do. And after this little show that we had this last week, and what we know now about the so-called AIDS that we're getting, I have to be honest with you. I cannot. I have a lot of people that have always voted for yes for statehood that don't want to deal with the United States right now. They're very upset. And I'm assuming it's because, their mood is already changed because of the emergency. And right now they're a little bit more sensitive than normal, and they might change their minds in the coming months, and that's okay. I have no right to tell them what to do, so I'm not going to say one way or the other. Other things that are happening around us. I do think that at some point I am going to have to do more than what I'm doing right now and sell more of the stuff that I'm selling right now. So that will come in the next few weeks, what's going on in our little neck of the woods. But the big thing here is that we're downsizing. And I'm not going full minimalist because I don't think I can ever be a minimalist. But I am selling a lot of stuff. It doesn't really matter. It always cracks me up because people tell you, oh, don't sell stuff because you're never going to get what you pay for it. Well, I used it, so why would I get what I paid for it? Makes no sense. But right now, it's not making me any money. And if I get $1 and I sell 10 things and I get $1 from each, that's $10 I didn't have yesterday. So why would that be bad? Is it an effort? Yes, but if I'm not doing anything particularly right now, spending a couple of hours taking pictures and posting them online, that's nothing. So, if you have any ideas, suggestions on what you would like to see on the channel, go ahead and put them down below. We would love to hear from you. Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend. I'll probably post a little video after the walk. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to donate to the Alzheimer's Association in your area. If you have a chance to do the walk, go ahead and do the walk for people with Alzheimer's. We have an epidemic of Alzheimer's in this country and people are ignoring it, and it's just as bad as cancer. I know it's really weird because when I was growing up, I didn't hear about Alzheimer's, and I definitely didn't have that many people I knew that had cancer. Right now, pretty much everybody I know either knows somebody or has had cancer, and everybody that I know has a family member with Alzheimer's. It's an epidemic. We need to end this. So I'm going to leave the link to my page for Alzheimer's below. If you want to donate, I'll be more than happy to accept a donation. If you want to share the link so other people donate, fine. If you live in the Orlando area, we would love to have you in our team. And either way, just share the link, donate, go and check out your own walk in your area. Thank you very much for watching and have a great weekend.